the Son of Man has power on the earth to forgive sin. Now, when Jesus said these words, this is during that time that I talked about on Monday where the men had brought their friend to a house where Jesus was teaching, and the house was packed with people, and they couldn't get in, and so they took the tiles off the roof and let their friend down to be healed. And the scribes were sitting right there in the front row, and they already were thinking in their mind about judgment upon a man who would heal this man on the Sabbath day. And they were ready for him. And then they talked about, and they were thinking this in their mind, and Jesus read their mind. And they were talking about blasphemy, blasphemy. Jesus was conducting blasphemy. Well, when he said these words, that the Son of Man has power on earth to save sin, and then to realize that he was about to heal this man, which saying that I am the Son of Man. Ooh, you talking about blasphemy in their mind. They had him nailed, but the truth of the matter is that what Jesus was demonstrating was that God loves humanity. And the heart of God is to bring gifts, goodness, salvation, forgiveness, all of these wonderful traits to mankind. And he's much more concerned about that than he is whether or not you spit in the earth and then cause your spit to create a ferrule, or to say he's plowing on the Sabbath day. That's how silly it all had become. Jesus defied this. Well, then so did King David when he went to Abiathar the priest and said, give me the shewbread to eat. You see, what happens, and this is what Jesus came to teach against, about this thing about trying to blend the old with the new. And Jesus began to give these illustrations. And he talked about how that you can't put old cloth on new cloth, because he said the old cloth will corrupt the new cloth and it won't work. And then he talked about how that you don't put new wine in old wine bottles, because the new wine will cause the old bottles to burst. And if you've ever read those accounts and wonder what is it that Jesus is referring to, what's he talking about here? Well, I can say it in one word. One very, very simple and very, very important word. And that word is grace. Grace. Just grace. In other words, it's not to say, well, if you follow a little bit of the law and count on that for your salvation, and then you add to the teachings of Jesus, you put those two together and you got what works. And no. It's just grace. It's just grace. And the New Testament church came to this reality. It took some time, but it took God giving Peter this wonderful vision with the sheet coming down and said, rise, slay, and eat. And Peter said, I've never eaten anything unclean or common. And Jesus said, what I have cleansed, let no man call common. He was talking about the Gentiles. Gospel to the world, freely given by the blood that was shed on Calvary's cross. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.